Welcome to Israelite's Doctrine for Dummies, where we break down the truth of the Bible so simple, even a child can understand it. Your charity helps generate the lessons needed to seal the chosen before the destruction. The daughter of Zion must not be a daughter of confusion. Paul already gave the foundation. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. 1 Corinthians 14:33. Any spirit that brings confusion, rebellion, loudness, pride, disorder, and refusal to submit is not the order of Yah. The woman who has no order. 1 Corinthians 14:34-35. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. Paul teaches order in the assembly. A woman who secretly pushes herself toward the pulpit, seeks authority over men, or tries to rule the church is moving against the order Paul commanded. This is not hatred toward women. This is Yah's order for the assembly. Example, a woman may say, "I am just helping." But if she is really trying to control the teaching, direct the men, correct the elders publicly, or make herself the spiritual head, that is disorder. The woman who usurps authority. 1 Timothy 2:11-12. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Paul does not forbid women from learning. He commands them to learn in subjection. The problem is, when a woman tries to usurp authority over the man, usurp means to take a place that was not given to her. Example, a woman who secretly wants the pulpit, wants men under her teaching, or wants to rule the assembly is not walking in subjection. She is trying to take authority. The woman who leans on her own understanding. Proverbs 3:5-7. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. A disorderly woman often says, "I feel, I think, I know what Yah told me," while ignoring the written word. That is leaning on her own understanding. The daughter of Zion must not be ruled by emotions, pride, or private imagination. She must be ruled by Scripture. Example, if Paul says women are not to usurp authority over men, but a woman says, "The Spirit told me I can preach over men," she is leaning on her own understanding against the written command. The woman without control. Proverbs 25:28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. A person without self-control is like a defenseless city. This applies to men and women. A woman who cannot control her mouth, anger, emotions, or pride brings destruction into the house and assembly. Example, if she argues constantly, interrupts teaching, fights correction, gossips, and creates division, she is like a city without walls. The loud and stubborn woman. Proverbs 7:10-11. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. The Bible connects disorder with being loud, stubborn, and restless. This kind of woman does not love order. She does not love covering. She does not love home, modesty, or submission. Example, a woman who always wants public attention, always wants to be seen, always challenges authority, and refuses correction is walking in the spirit of loudness and stubbornness. The contentious woman. Proverbs 21:9. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Proverbs 21:19. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. A contentious woman brings constant strife. She turns the house into a battlefield. She does not create peace. She creates pressure, argument, and unrest. Example, a husband may come home seeking peace, but every day there is accusation, shouting, disrespect, and contention. Scripture says, even the wilderness is better than that. The woman who destroys her own house. Proverbs 14:1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. A wise woman builds, a foolish woman destroys. She may destroy through rebellion, disrespect, gossip, manipulation, bitterness, or turning children against their father. Example, if a mother poisons the children against their father because she is angry, she is plucking down her house with her own hands. The woman who is not under covering. Numbers 33:5. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand. But if her father disallow her, not any of her vows shall stand. This shows the principle of covering. A daughter in her father's house was under her father's authority. A married woman was under her husband's authority. The daughter of Zion must understand covering. A woman without order, without counsel, and without submission can become dangerous to herself and others. Example, if she has no husband, she should not become lawless. She should seek righteous counsel among the saints, serve in humility, and remain under the word. The wild ass spirit, uncontrolled and ungoverned. Jeremiah 2:24. A wild ass used to the wilderness, that snuffeth up the wind at her pleasure. This verse speaks of Israel's rebellious condition, using the image of a wild donkey in the wilderness, following desire and refusing restraint. Applied as an example, a woman with a wild ass spirit is one who refuses order, refuses covering, refuses correction, and follows her own appetite. Example, she does not ask, "What does the word command?" She asks, "What do I want?" That is wilderness behavior, not Zion order. The secretly feminist Israelite woman. Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. This is a strong warning. When proper order is overturned, the people are led into error. A woman may call herself an Israelite, wear modest clothing, speak Hebrew words, and quote scripture, but secretly carry a feminist spirit. That spirit still wants rulership over men. It still wants the pulpit. It still wants authority. Example, she may say, "I believe in order," but behind the scenes, she controls the men, corrects leadership, pushes doctrine, and tries to direct the assembly. That is not submission. That is hidden rulership. The woman who seeks the pulpit. 1 Timothy 2:12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. The pulpit is not a place for a woman to rule over men. Women can serve, teach younger women, train children, support the work, and walk as examples of holiness. But the office of teaching authority over men is not given to women. Titus 2:3-5. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands. This is the righteous lane for women's teaching. Older women teaching younger women holiness, sobriety, modesty, love for husband and children, and obedience. Example, a righteous sister teaches younger sisters how to be modest, sober, faithful, and orderly. A disorderly sister tries to teach men, challenge elders, and rule the assembly. The woman who refuses counsel. Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. The rebellious woman is always right in her own eyes. She cannot receive correction. She calls rebuke oppression. She calls order control. She calls submission weakness. But Scripture says wisdom listens to counsel. Example: if elders, her husband, or righteous sisters correct her, and she immediately becomes angry, defensive, and accusatory, that shows pride. The woman who causes division. Romans 16:17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. This applies to anyone causing division, male or female. A woman who stirs up sisters against leadership, turns wives against husbands, gossips, whispers, and creates secret groups, is causing division. Example: she says, I am just concerned, but she secretly gathers women to complain, accuse, and resist order. That is division. 14. The woman who talks too much and gossips. 1 Timothy 5:13. And withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. Paul warns against idle women becoming tattlers and busybodies. Disorder often begins with uncontrolled speech. Example: instead of serving, studying, helping children, or building her house, she spends her time carrying stories, exposing private matters, and stirring emotional confusion. The woman who must learn meekness. 1 Peter 3:3-4. Whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. Yah values a meek and quiet spirit. This is the opposite of loud, proud, rebellious, attention-seeking behavior. A daughter of Zion should not only look modest outwardly, she must also be modest inwardly. Example: a woman may wear long garments and head coverings, but if her mouth is rebellious and her spirit is proud, she is not walking in the meek and quiet spirit Peter describes. Final summary. The disorderly woman is described by Scripture as loud and stubborn, Proverbs 7:11, contentious, Proverbs 21:9, 21:19, without self-control, Proverbs 25:28, leaning on her own understanding, Proverbs 3:5-7, destroying her house, Proverbs 14:1, usurping authority, 1 Timothy 2:12, causing confusion, 1 Corinthians 14:33-35, gossiping and being a busybody, 1 Timothy 5:13, refusing counsel, Proverbs 12:15, secretly seeking rulership, Isaiah 3:12. The righteous daughter of Zion must reject this spirit. She must be sober, meek, modest, teachable, obedient to the word, and willing to serve in her proper order. Yah is not the author of confusion. Therefore, the daughter of Zion must not become a daughter of disorder. Shalom to the students of the Lost Tribes. Please support this work on Patreon and request a personal commissioned video lesson. A lesson can be produced for you on the topic you want, with scriptural breakdown and understanding. By supporting this work, you help build and strengthen the ministry. Your support helps with the time, study, editing, and materials needed to produce these teachings. Support the ministry. Request your lesson. Grow in knowledge. Patreon. Patreon.com/C/School of the Lost Tribes. Student, you have no excuse not to study. The Most High has called you, so do not ignore His call. If you do, you may lose the opportunity for salvation from captivity. Email me at schooloftheLostTribes@gmail.com, and I will answer your questions and send you a lesson on the subject. Shalom. Those who follow the covenant of charity and support the teacher of Yahweh are encouraged to give freely. Please donate. My duty is to compel the descendants of the lost tribes to study and to endure unto the end. You must study, because if you do not study, you will not know Yahweh. Study and worship are the keys to the knowledge of Yahweh, by which the servants of God are sealed in their foreheads before destruction comes. Without that knowledge, you will lose salvation. Sign up by email at schoolofthelosttribes@gmail.com. WhatsApp classes are available. Dear student, I write to you in sincerity and with concern for your walk. If you do not have a true teacher to serve under, you will not gain the full mystery of the kingdom of heaven. A man cannot come into deep understanding by his own pride, nor by tasting from many tables. The true knowledge of Yahweh is learned through order, humility, service, consistency, and charity toward the truth. If you eat from the table of Yahweh, that means you must learn from the teacher he has set over you. But if you are not consistent in charity toward that knowledge, then it shows that you never truly invested in Yah. Instead, you invested in worldly knowledge, worldly approval, and worldly gain. Because of that, the true knowledge of Christ can be removed from you, and you can fall back into spiritual sleep and be cast out. If you are ashamed to promote this truth, or ashamed to be known as an Israelite, then you are not fit to carry this message. What is hidden in your heart will be exposed. The truth is not for the ashamed, nor for those who want the world's acceptance more than Yahweh's approval. If you are afraid of death, afraid of suffering, or afraid of losing your life for the truth, then you are not yet standing in the courage Christ requires. Christ does not call men to cowardice, but to faithfulness. The fearful draw back, but the true disciple stands firm. To shrink back from the truth is to place yourself against the will of God. Therefore, wake up, be steadfast, be faithful, invest in Yahweh, not in this world. Hold fast to the knowledge given to you, walk in charity, remain under true teaching, and do not let the mystery of the kingdom slip from your hands. Only those who endure, who are loyal, and who are not ashamed will remain. You no longer have an excuse. If you're not planning to teach your family and your people, don't buy this book. This is not a book of personal opinion. It is a precision tool, crafted from the words of Yahweh, for one nation only, the scattered tribes of the children of Jacob. For generations, the truth of who we are has been buried beneath the weight of deception. False doctrines have sold a universal message that never belonged to the other nations, stripping the covenants of their rightful heirs and misleading the lost sheep of the house of Israel. This book is not the message. It is the delivery system. Like a box of sharpened blades, every page is designed to cut through the lies that have enslaved our people in spiritual bondage. This is for those who have ears to hear and whose bloodline traces back to the patriarchs. The scribe is not the author. Yahweh is. These are his words, preserved and compiled for his chosen. Go to Amazon, get it, use it, teach your household, teach your people. The blades are ready. The knife you need, crafted for your endurance and trials from the Most High, is almost here. This tool is forged to cut through the deceptions that have smothered the truth for generations, preparing you for sealing before the destruction. Title: The Curse of the Lost Tribes, for the Deaf, Dumb, and Blind Israelites, by Scribe of the Most High. Not a commentary, not a sermon. This is a scriptural toolbox, crafted for the lost sheep of Israel, those judged, scattered, and blinded by false doctrines. Christianity taught you lies. This book gives you the blades of truth to tear them down. Compiled by a scribe, authored by Yahweh, the God of Israel. Built for one people only, the descendants of Jacob. Use this tool, wake up, return, your time is near.